Hello and welcome to the show. We are here today on Forza Horizon 5 for some more multiplayer racing. Now for this session, the rules were fairly straightforward. Cars had to be two-wheel drive and had to be running on semi-slicks. So they didn't have to start off two-wheel drive, you could convert something if you wished. And of course build to A-class. Now, you might recognise my vehicle. I'm driving an S15, and it was ran in a tournament a little while back on the Rally Expansion Island, so to speak. And I'm running it here as a little bit of a curiosity, as a little bit of an experiment. You see, this car was very good. It made it to the final, actually. It was quite competitive, but that was a very, very specialist kind of road, and I'm curious to see how Silvia, built for a very, very twisty road, might fare for more general racing. It is not going to be very fast down straights. And the tyres were limited, I think, at 275s all around for the tournament, so this car doesn't actually have the maximum width rear tyres. It's a little bit down on power, 415 horsepower, it's got a V8 in it, so it's perhaps a little bit down on power to some of the vehicles. Here it will be a corner specialist, but I am genuinely curious to see how competitive it is going to be. The Estadio is, well, I mean, it's going to shoot off like a rocket ship, but it is unlikely to be controllable around a circuit like this. We will have to wait and see. Ollie has been insane and got a Railton, which, I mean, fair play for trying to make it work. I couldn't. I'm not very good with those sort of cars, but it's definitely a choice. A little bit of a laggy RX-8. Have a go to the inside. The Mazda struggling for traction. We've got a good run on the Beamer. We will try and send the car to the inside here. I fear we may get stuck in traffic trying to chase down that Lotus. That thing is very quick. If we can get past the Railton, we lean on it a little bit. And the problem I've got is the problem you always get with the handling cars. We will be monstrously fast in these corners. The Railton will be quick accelerating. My hope is it's going to be just too much of a handful. It might draw alongside here. It's on the outside, heading through here, and the Silvia will move up into a second place. Now the question becomes, can I chase down a Lotus? Of the vehicles that I would want to be trying to chase down on a fairly twisty circuit, an Exige, probably not one of them. They are very fast. I might actually be a little faster than it in a straight line. We are good through turn. Well, the Lotus hit the inside wall, or hit the street furniture, I should say. I hit the outside wall slightly. They both hit different bits of street furniture through the next section. Off to a good start. Not quite sure where I can get away with the brakes on this car. So the rear tyres, I mean, I think it's 305s, I'd love, but the only thing I've changed from the original build is I dumped all the aero off, because in a very brief test, it basically got to about 130 miles an hour and didn't want to accelerate anymore. And, I mean, it's not going to be very quick in a straight line, even with the aero, like the aero slider dumped to minimum. It's still got a lot of aero. There's a lot of downforce, a lot of drag. But, yeah, my hope was, I want a little bit more straight line speed than that. And, yeah, the tyres are slightly smaller than I'd like, but it's not got enough power to really overcome them that much. So we should be pretty good on the traction zones. We've still got plenty of rear-end grip in this car. The Lotus isn't getting away at the moment. We've had a slightly better lap. The Lotus hit some street furniture, I hit some street furniture. I mean, this is likely to be a track that's very good for both of our cars here. We are probably the two best handling cars in this field. The Lotus struggling at the final corner. The Exige is absolutely pushing. And I mean, if we're catching that down a straight, we know that's not very fast down a straight. Can we go around the outside at turn one? We can. The Lotus, credit to the Lotus, it gave us space to do that. I think it got a little sideways on the street furniture, but it realised we were sending the Nissan the long way round and was very fair in giving us space, especially considering it was sliding at the time. Silvia is up to the lead, but it is certainly not going to be an easy feat. Nothing is really going with us here either. The Railton is still hanging on to third, which is a hell of a job. Now, we might have to defend from the Lotus in places. The Lotus is a little better in the corners, to be expected. I think it's got an incredible chassis and all that. Oh, Lotus sends it. Didn't think there was going to be enough of a gap there for it to do it. It did. It made it stick cleanly. I went to go for a cutback on the exit, which we are going to try and make work here. We are to the inside. They're still side by side as we run up the hill, and we will have the advantage now. The V8 power in the Silvia will get us back past Do Not Leave a Gap anymore on the inside. I mean, that was one of the better places for the Lotus to try and pass, try and sort of repass, if you like. And I should have maybe been a little bit more aware. I thought it was going to be a bit too far back. It's just not quite got. It's the power for this hill that we have got the advantage of. And the power down the start-finish straight. Lotus looks quite oversteery also, and is sliding about like a lunatic. We will cross the line. I mean, well, lap time-wise, so far is okay. Although we have been in battles, so perhaps not the fairest of comparisons compared to some other cars that I have driven around here. We will get slowed. I mean, this is probably one of the better tracks I could ask for this car, realistically. There's not that much in the way of straights for it to come undone with. I mean, the hope is that maybe on some other tracks it's going to be still so good in the corners that the straight line speed deficit won't be too obvious, but we will have to wait and see. We know we could be vulnerable here. We leave the door a little bit more shut, although the Lotus is too far back. Definitely, that mid-section, the Exige is better than we are. We're better for the rest of the lap. The Exige pretty much gains all its time, actually, in that mid-section. Yeah, can't live with us through this bit. The Nissan is just a bit too powerful. The Exige, I mean, I like the car. I've never really got on with the handling in Forza. As Polar Bear is finding out, it's a little too snappy and a little too prone to oversteer for my life. I'm sure you could build it and tune it and all of that and get it how exactly right, but I've tended to find they're a bit snappy. Yeah, it's been a much better lap for us, and it will do. We will take the victory. Good battle. Great battle with the Lotus. Enjoyed that one. Yeah, the Exige put up a good fight. In the end, just couldn't match the power of the Silvia. I think there's a bit more speed in that. I think 25 should be doable with that. It's not the fastest car I've ever built around this circuit, but it's pretty good. The Railton gets on the podium. Well done to Ollie with that one. And we are well clear. It really was between me and the Exige. Well clear of the rest of the field. Lightning's up in 4th, actually. Not bad. And the front-wheel drive car ended up in 5th. I think there's a couple of front-wheel drives. I think there's a Scirocco in there. The Isetta, I mean, the Isetta's a rocket ship in a straight line, but controllability was always going to be a problem for it here. It might come good at a power track, but yeah, around there, not going to go so well. Either way, I will take the victory, and it's fun to see the Railton on the podium. We are off to the Arch Circuit for our next race. We're about mid-pack again. Oh no, I take it back. We're a lot further back. A lot further back in the pack. Unlikely to be the strongest track for my car, this one. Although, if the Exige is slower than me down the straights, the Exige is probably going to struggle similarly. But yeah, the more powerful vehicles will likely have a better time. So maybe watch out for the Railton. I don't know how much power some of the other stuff has got. We're going to get left for dead off the line. I know that's going to happen. And then hopefully we are going to soar our way back past once it gets into the twisty bits, but it is more difficult. We're going to have a lot of cars to be passing. I'm going to try and make the most of Ghost Mode, see if I can sneak past anything, but doesn't look like I'm going to get much here. Oh, that's an unfortunate place to come out of Ghost Mode while we were trying to go for an overtake. That's okay. The RX-8 cannot quite carry the speed. So, what is leading the way? I think the Estadio is leading the way because it shoots off the line, as we said, like a little rocket. Oh god, it's got very busy. The Estadio's spun. I don't know if it got tangled up with the Lotus. The Lotus did get in trouble, though, through there. We're on the outside of a Bentley. That's a brave place to be, and probably not a place I want to be. There's still a Silvia-sized gap. There was a Silvia-sized gap. We found it. We kind of made it stick. However, now we've run out of straight lines. But hopefully the Bentley-sized gap in the air will drag us forward a bit. A little bit of bit. It's not much. Railton leads the way here, followed by Scirocco and then Lightning. Bentley is doing the big jump. You'll get away with it. It just looks funny. The difficulty we've got, of course, is we're not going to slow down any of these cars in a straight line. they're going to shoot past us, and then we get held up in the corners. The Bentley, though, we are going to hold the long way round here. That's fine. Silvia is turning up. Hello, everyone. Don't mind the V8 Nissan. We have come to join the party. I've got so much more grip, but I've got absolutely nowhere to put my car to get past anything. The Bentley's come back. Hello. I should be able to just drive clean up the inside of almost everything. Here, hello. I've got so much. I'm in a different class to this lot in terms of grip. Ollie would not have expected there to be a Silvia there. It was very sneaky actually from me. But we've kind of got to do it because I don't have a chance otherwise. We're just going to get buried in the traffic. I can be flat through here. The Railton can't. The Bentley, well, Bentley might be able to, but wandered wide. It's all manners of busy. We were going to have to dive bomb down there, and I can brake super late. I've got to be a bit careful on the exit. Try and make sure I can put my pad down. And this time out, we're not going to be held up through here, so we can probably extract maximum potential from the S15. Fingers crossed, we will just chuck it through this section. It does slide a little bit, this car now. With the aero taken off and not having the maximum rear tyre width, it does slide more than I would ideally like. Didn't know where that Scirocco was going. I missed the checkpoint. I didn't know if it had got it. I was actually contemplating ducking underneath it, but I just didn't know where it was going to appear or where it wasn't going to appear. So it's a little bit of a pain. Right, lightning leads. We're being chased down by a BMW. I'm going to make life awkward. Beamer's not that much faster than us. Going to make life awkward for it. If it wants to go around the outside, it can. It's not got the grip to do it. Neither has the big old Bentley. That went for a big jump. Now, if I'm going to pass the Ford, what I've got to do, I've got to set it up this lap. It's going to be through. It's going to be through the double right-hander coming towards the end of the lap. If we're going to do it, we're going to have to do it there. It's going to repass us, but then I can hopefully outbrake it into essentially turn 2. That will be the hope. In fact, oh god, it actually got a big kick of oversteer. So yeah, what I've got to do is send it here, which we can do, because I've just got... We're all on semi-slick tyres here, right? We are all on the same compound tyre, and yet my vehicle is essentially a different class in terms of grip. It's weird. It was built. So we've kind of done what we wanted to. I might be a bit too far back. No, I don't know. So I wanted to be able to dive to the inside here. It might have to be a monumental dive. The Ford's gone defensive early. Probably... Oh no, it has got the grip to make that one work. Where are we going to pass it? I mean, if we get a cleaner, might actually be able to do this. This is a dicey manoeuvre. Thought about it, couldn't get the nose alongside. Ford's really struggling for traction here. We struggle a little bit through there. We're trying to cross it over down this part, but it's so difficult because, well, the Ford just blocks the road. Ford's going to surely defend the inside. It didn't. We can sweep it around the outside, and then what we're going to do is it's going to be a bit sneaky, but we're going to make it awkward for the Lightning into the final corner, and it couldn't do it. Yeah, it was sneaky, it was definitely aggressive, but it was the way that Silvia was going to be able to do it. I thought the Ford was going to try hug the inside, because I thought it was going to be wary of me ducking underneath for the second part of that double left, and it didn't. It suddenly left this big gap open on the top. So we had to do that, and then we really had to cut across, because if it got to the inside, it would have beaten us. So yeah, it was definitely aggressive. There was just about a Silvia's space. We were just about a car length ahead to do it. If we got it wrong, we would have got spun by the Lightning. It would have been our fault, because we really cut across on it. But it worked. I'll take it. Bloody hell, that was hard work. Good race. Very enjoyable race, that one. The M5 was quick, actually, as well. I got a good lap time. But there we go. The Silvia is on the top step of the podium. Different podium this time around. Unfortunate for the Exige, got tangled with the Isetta. I will take the victory, though. We are off to the Tierra Prospera circuit for our next race. A little bit better spot on the grid for me here. This is another quite fast circuit, although it's a lot of high-speed corners. This, in theory, should be very good for me. And the Exige is a fair way back. I suspect this track is going to be good for the Silvia. We don't have the outright top speed, but that's fine. This track doesn't really need it, per se. The run up the hill towards the end of the lap's quite good to have high speed, but you've got so many fast corners, and we should be good there. Maybe a teensy bit oversteery. I can live with that. Considering what we're dealing with here, I mean, the Exige is twitchier than we are. The Estadio is unbelievably fast in a straight line, but it's so difficult to drive. I suspect it will not have the stability. Even if over the course of a lap it can go really quick here, it just won't have the stability. The M5 could be a concern. It's going to depend on how much grip that thing has got. The Estadio. We're saying about my car being like a different class in the corners. The Estadio is definitely a different class in terms of acceleration. We are going to sneak our way past to the inside, and I mean the Bentley just can't turn. We will probably clear the Bentley around the outside here. I will take that, thank you very much. A little bit of a slide from the Nissan, but we are through, although the Bentley may well get us up this hill. That would be my concern. And yeah, the concern we get is, as quick as our car is, it might be the quickest car here over a lap, but we could well get stuck. I mean, you just need a Bentley just understeers. Bentley just understeers by a mile. The Ford is struggling for grip at the front. But the Ford is going to have one of those races where you spend a lot of time looking back. In fact, you can see the Ford has to have a huge breakthrough there, and I'm flat. I don't even have to think about it. It's first lap, never driven this car here, and I'm flat. It's a little tap on the brakes through here. There's a Silvia-sized gap there. We make it work. I should have covered the inside. Actually, that was a little bit. I went to go back on the racing line, forgetting that Ford will not brake as well as me. So we got a little bump through there, but I think that is actually a bit more my fault. I really shouldn't move back across that aggressively. Ford has got some pace here. Focus has got some speed. A little bit understeery from the front-wheel drive car, as you may expect. I mean, I'm a big fan of front-wheel drives. In Horizon, they can work very well. Hell, I have a Veloster, but technically the Veloster with the massive body kit would be in this regulations. I believe it would fit. I think that was on semi-slicks. But it's very fast, and it's kind of been discouraged from use because it's filthy fast, that thing. So, yeah, front-wheel drive really can work in A-Class. Semi-slicks are probably the way you want to go. Rally tyres work as well, fairly well, but you can see the understeer. Ignore the tyre smoke. That's just a little bit of lag, essentially, from the game. It's not actually smoking the tyres that hard, but it is definitely understeering through these corners, which, I mean, yeah, we don't have that. We do have the tiniest kick of oversteer when pushed really hard, but it's nicely manageable, shall we say. The Lightning's fallen to third, but it is currently hanging on to that one. The Exige has worked its way up to fourth, as we were kind of expecting it might be quite good here. Now, we have got no one around us. We've got no real excuse. That Focus, we haven't really seen much of it so far in these races. Focus is definitely not too bad. It's just nothing can match us for grip. We've just got so much grip in these corners that, yeah, we do get outrun down the straights. It is very true, but I can carry so much quarter speed again. You can see the Ford, or a tyre smoke, but you can see the Ford just understeering. I mean, I messed up that final corner there, and I'm still pretty much flat. I had the littlest of confidence lifts. I actually reckon I could be flat through turn one, you know. I reckon the car could do it. It would be close, but I reckon it actually could. We will slow down through here. Where is the Railton? While getting a stunning podium in the first race, is having a bit of a more difficult time, as you would perhaps expect. It is, yeah, down in 8th. I don't know what's happened in this race. Of course, we didn't really see too much of it. But yeah, it is having a bit more of a difficult. This is really not a circuit for the Railton. The stop-starty nature of the street circuit means it's not too bad. This is just all high-speed corners, and I like it. I've grown to like. I didn't like this circuit initially in the early days of Horizon 5, but I have really grown to like it. It's not my best track by any means, but I do like driving it. But this is not a track a Railton is going to enjoy, that's for sure. We are going for win number 3 here in the Silvia. We had to work for it a bit. The Ford gave us a little bit of a concern for the first couple of laps, but it just couldn't live with the grip that we could get from. In fact, both the Fords gave us a little. We had to fight them a bit. The Exige made it onto the podium. Bloody hell, we were shifting around there. I think, see, the Ford lap time wasn't too bad. I think it's just the consistency that I can get with the Silvia, because it's just easy to drive quickly. It's just really, really easy to drive. The Ford looks understeery, and the Exige looks a bit snappy. So we're just, yeah, just very easy to drive at that sort of pace. So, there we go. It is a little bit of a different podium. I think it's the first time we've seen the Focus up on the podium in this session. But it is victory number 3 for the Nissan. We are on to the festival circuit for our next race. And this really is a power track. If my car's going to get exposed for a lack of top speed, it's going to be around here. Cars to watch out for, I suspect. The Bentley starting on pole is good for it. The M5, the Railton. If it's going to come good, this is the place for the Railton, let's face it. I mean, I have fended off. The problem is, if I can get to the front, I can maybe fend off some power cars. However, I've got to get myself there, and that is the difficult bit. Because, well, funnily enough, we're going to drop back from our spot on the grid. The M5 doesn't get to the line very well. I'm going to guess heavy is probably what is causing it grief. Now, we can make the most of the Ghost mode. That Focus might actually not be bad here either, thinking about it, because we saw the Focus was quick at that previous circuit, and here may be slightly more suiting the Ford's straight line speed. The Isetta, I mean, it's so fast down the straights, but it's a question of can it be controlled for 5 laps without any issues. Again, if it's going to work, it's going to be here. This is likely to be my Achilles heel of a circuit. We will head around the hairpin. The Isetta is sliding and sliding and sliding and sliding all over the place, but we can't pass it because it's just going to outrun us. We're kind of going to wait for the Isetta to make a mistake, I think, is going to be the best. Actually, the best way to go about passing that. Because I certainly can't do much. And you can see the struggles that we are going to face. Now, I will 100% be flat through this final corner. There is not a question about it. In fact, I'm flat through. I should have gone wide of the Isetta through there. And we are going to be super late on the brakes down into turn 1 compared to the cars ahead of us. The Bentley's struggling with understeer. The Focus may have missed the checkpoint. It did. It just dove off to the left. We are past the Bentley, but we're not going to hold it. The Bentley will go back through, but we will just, well, not dive it, but we are on the inside. We've got significantly better brakes, significantly lighter than that Bentley, and we will pass it and move ourselves up to second. This is good for us. Now, we've already raced that Ford before. We know it's pretty decent, all things considered. So this is going to be, oh, Bentley's having a bit of a look. And the Bentley might get us here, because we'll get the exit. I didn't think it was close enough, actually, to get the nose alongside. So the Bentley is going to make life awkward. And I think we can't afford, really. If we are going to catch that Ford, I don't know whether we realistically can. Ah, no, I wanted to duck underneath that. Yeah, this is what I can't afford. Even if we set the fastest lap time, even if I clear the Bentley and we set the fastest lap time of the race, the Ford has already built a pretty tasty gap. The Bentley missed the checkpoint. Ah, okay, that helps me. That helps me big time. It gives me clean air to just mercilessly chase down a Lightning, or to try and mercilessly chase down a Lightning. But we saw it's not terrible in the corners. It's not as good, nowhere near as good as we are, but it's not completely undrivable. It's not as understeery as that big Bentley. So this could be tough. So we're going to lose time down here. We're going to lose and lose and lose, and then we're going to hopefully gain big chunks as we head across the bridge. But how I'm going to pass it, I mean, final corner we could do it, because we will be flat, and I don't think that Ford will be. We could actually legitimately get it in the final corner if we were close enough. You can see how much time we're gaining, but then it's another acceleration zone, and the time we've gained, we start losing. The Exige is battling with a Railton, and the Lotus is basically having the same difficulties we are, just a little bit further back. We will head and carry as much speed as I dare through that one. We've definitely gained. And I'm not too worried about that Railton. So yeah, the Ford is absolutely on the brakes. I saw the brake lights come up, and you can see it struggling so much for grip through there. It wanted to slide all the way to the finish line pretty much, which we just don't have to deal with. I've not got turn 1 very well. I'm actually turning in too soon. Way too soon. I'm driving that a bit crap. Because I'm braking, I'm pretty much braking too early and then turning in too soon. I can be more aggressive there, and I'm going to have to be better. Bad start to this lap. Turn 1's probably not our biggest gaining area, mostly because it's just, we can gain a bit through the corner, but the exit, the lightning's going to pull away. This is where we gain. We definitely gained quite a lot here last lap. We can just kind of chuck the car through. Didn't really want to put wheels on the sand if I could avoid it. It should probably stick a little bit wider. We're going to have an absolute monster final lap if we're going to do this. It's not impossible that we can do this from here, but it's going to have to be one hell of a final lap. We've closed a bit, but not as much as I wanted to. The lightning pulls away again. It has a tap on the brakes on the way in. It has a big slide on the way through, and it brushes the wall. But it's not, he's lost a bit of time, but it's not too much. What can we do? We've got to be better through turn 1 than we have been so far, and that is much more like it. If I could have done that last lap, this would maybe have been a different story. That's what we wanted to see. Where are we going to get this pass done? The hairpin, maybe. We'd lose it on the exit, but we could make life difficult for this lightning. It is, I mean, it's kind of in the middle of the road. It's not really defending. It doesn't really need to defend. The thing is, for the lightning, there's almost no point trying to defend from me, because I'll outbrake you, I'll outturn you. Your best bet is to actually take a normal line and just focus on getting the good exits. We are close. Now, we're not going to be able to pass into this next. It's going to come down to the final corner. It's going to be the final corner. We've got to be monstrously fast through here. The lightning defends, as was to be... I say as to be expected. It may be defending a bit too much at the moment. We're close. I think the Ford's got us. If I'd had a better lap 4, I think I could have done it. We are flat through the final corner. The lightning bumps the wall. It's a drag race. We're not quite able to do it. Damn. If I'd got turn 1, like I did on that final lap on lap 4, I think we could have done it. I think we could have done it. Good race. Thoroughly enjoyed the race. Yeah, the lightning just holds on for victory. We were charging at the end, but we couldn't do it. The Exige makes its way up into 3rd ahead of the M5. The Railton ends up in 5th. The big Bentley's just too understeery, unfortunately, around here. Almost. Almost got it. The Lightning will deny us from the 5 victories, if we can get one in the final round, of course. But we can't get the clean sweep regardless. Great race. Thoroughly enjoyed that one. I'm liking my Silvia. We are off to the Estadio circuit for our final race. Oh, the Lightning's on pole. We're going to probably drop... Might have dropped down to about 10th before the first corner. It's a bit of a straight shot. We're not quite turn-wise. Turn 1 and 2 are sort of more kinks on the straight. Regardless, we know we're going to lose that little bit on the straight on the start, but we are likely to be quick here. The Silvia has been very, very good so far today, and this is probably my favourite track on the game. My car will lack a little bit of straight line speed to perhaps compare to some of the best A-class cars I have for this, but certainly with what we are racing here, actually we're not going to fall back as far as I thought we were going to off the line. We're likely to be strong around this one. We have got... Oh, got to lock the brakes though. That is not good. It was the littlest of locks, but it was enough just to cart us wide. Thankfully, through the power of ghost mode, we've stuck our way back up the order quite nicely. Through the twisty bit, the lightning bumped the wall on the exit there, and there was all sorts of bucking around. Now, the Estadio, as hilarious as it is, I'm not that worried about it. Mostly because this corner here, it is going to hate. Well done for getting it through like that, because the back end on mine has gone... In fact, mine was even more out of control than the Estadio, which is never good. Never good at all. Or the Exige. I wanted to duck underneath the RX-8, but the Exige has made life difficult for us. We are through there. It's about to get very busy. Oh dear. Well, we're all about to get mugged by a Railton, which is fine. We'll let that happen. We need some good laps. We need some laps in clean air. And this is not a car that does very well in traffic, which is always difficult to deal with in a racing situation. The BMW won't be outbraking us down there. Hence, I didn't really defend, even though the BMW is right behind. I didn't need to, because the BMW's never outbraking us. If it tries to outbrake us, it will just hit the wall. The Railton struggles with grip through there, and we will pass it. And I doubt... Okay, I thought it was going to actually lift through there, so it was going to have the grip. Where is the Railton going to go? It is to the inside. This is not what we need if we're going to catch a Lightning here. I don't really want to be passing the Railton into the chicane, but I do want to get past the Railton. The Iseta's on kind of 2 wheels. Maybe you had the front wheel still on the ground. The Exige is to the outside. Brave move from that Lotus. It's going to go the long way round, and we're not going to let it do that. So the last thing I want to do is let the Exige sneak past. The Lightning is struggling. We've got the pace here. The Lotus, we know the Lotus is going to struggle down this straight. It's not that much slower than we are, but the draft is not too bad, actually. Railton's coming to fight back. Railton can go the long way round if it wants into turn number 1. Won't hold that. I mean, it's a brave attempt. Is never going to hold that, and it has lost out to both me and the Lotus. Now getting side by side with the Railton through that chicane is full bravery at that point from both of us, to be fair. I knew we had to do it. I say that, actually. We have caught the Lightning quite well this time around. This is not really a track the Lightning is going to excel at, particularly. The Exige is good through there, I suspect. Yeah, it is. After that big slide at the start, I'm a little wary about chucking the Silvia and going sort of full send on it. Oh, Ford is so slow mid-corner. I'm not intentionally driving into the back of it through there. I'm just struggling with almost adjusting to how much I need to slow down for the Ford. I just wasn't expecting it to be that slow through there. We all had a bit of a bump as the Exige was trying to get involved. So yeah, the Exige outturns me. We massively outturn the Ford. We outrun the Exige down the straight, and we are on the inside of the Lightning through there. I don't think it realised we were alongside. I do apologise for the little bit of a nudge, but we need the checkpoint at that point, because yeah, we can just carry the speed. The back chicane is where we are having problems here. Not having problems, I just don't have the trust in this car that the Exige does to get it through, and the back end's gone again. Oh, and we got a bit of a help on that one. There's a little bit of a help. The Ford, we were already in trouble. Yeah, the back end is just a little bit loose. I think the Exige is actually waiting for us. Yeah, I mean, we were sliding. The Exige would have passed us as well. It's around in a bit too. I probably wasn't expecting us to slide that much, which is understandable. You probably wouldn't expect me to slide that much. Maybe not downshift through there, or maybe it's the curb. I'm not sure which one it is. There's definitely a bit of that is a problem. We can. We were so far back. The Ford probably didn't even expect us to do it, but we've got the braking performance to do it. In that we can just brake so late in comparison to the cars around. And the Exige can do the same, and probably is doing the same thing. Yeah, it's not really been it's been a bit scrappy, this race. The problem I've had is I just don't trust my car through this chicane. It's just not quite where I want it. Everywhere else it's great, and I've really enjoyed this car around basically every race we've done, but through there, of all places, it's really unsettled. It's really unhappy, which is, yeah, not the best thing in the world. It's not helped that we've been in battles most of the time, and I've not really quite got a feel for it there. As we head out of the final corner, we will take a victory. It would have been interesting to see a straight-up race between me and the Exige, I think. Yeah, there's more speed in that car than I got, most definitely. I don't think it's going to go, certainly not my driving, I mean, I get that down to sub 1 minute. I mean, I think a low 1 minute 1, high minute 1 minute 0 is quite doable with that, if I can get the back chicane correct. The Railton's pretty, I say pretty quick. It's not bad, considering it's such a silly car down there in terms of speed. There was a lot of fighting in that one. I mean, we had, me and the Lotus were essentially the polar opposite of the Lightning and the Railton. We had all the grip, and we have to kind of be aggressive with the passes in some ways, because the grip difference and speed difference was so great in this. It's been a weird session. I'd say it's been quite a weird one. The Silvia has been very, very good. It has been very good. It's been pretty damn good everywhere on that, which I'm very happy about. Yeah, it's probably not my fastest A-class car. However, it definitely did surprisingly well in all of this. So there we go. That is going to be it for this video. If you would like to sign up and take part in the next one of these, you can via our Discord. There'll be a link in the description. Find the Versity Community sign-up section, and you can register to take part in there. That, though, is going to be it from me. Thank you all very much for watching, and until next time, a goodbye.